So, what are we working on today? I bought a tool on Amazon and it came defective. And this tool, actually I didn't buy it, it's from Amazon Vine, and it came defective. So I can't return it because it's Vine. And I already gave them terrible review, which is what this tool deserves. But being that I don't like to waste stuff, I wanted to try and fix it. Now the problem here is these holes didn't align. So when you put this in, you can see there's a slight overlap here, and that is a problem, right? You can see it right there. So because it doesn't align, what my plan is I am going to grind all of this off. I'm going to grind all of this off. I'm going to basically remove all the paint. Once I do that, I am going to just weld it in place. And it's going to be stronger than anything that it would have been with their flimsy little bolts. That is my whole plan. So I only need to weld it to the bottom because on the top, the bolts actually lined up perfectly. So my plan is basically just get it in here. I'm going to take all this paint off, and then because I really only need to prevent it from sliding back and forth, I'm just going to run a very thin bead at a very low temperature, because this is very thin metal. This is less than 1/16, probably 1/32 of an inch. So it's going to have to be a very low temperature weld, but we'll show you how not scary it is to weld. First things first, you'll notice I'm wearing this hat. It's cotton. I have a little bit of hair sticking out because that's all it doesn't cover. If you have a cotton do-rag or something, that's even better. You want to make sure you're covered on the top. And then here, I'm going to be behind the welder's mask. And then everything that I'm wearing is pure cotton. Cotton doesn't burn the same way that polyester does, and that's the key to safely welding. So it doesn't matter which part of this I grind off, so I'm going to take the part that's got less paint already, and that's it. Oh, and I'm wearing hearing protection just in case. It's kind of loud from this side. Alright, so this is pretty much good enough. You'll notice that I'm also wearing safety glasses under my welding helmet, always. Technically, for grinding, I only need safety glasses. You don't need a welding helmet for that. That'll help keep the stuff from flying in your eyes, especially when you're working with bigger metals, or thicker metals, I should say. Alright, so this part's good. This will go in beautifully. Now I just got to grind off the outer surface here. Now those of you who are shrewd will notice that 1, I have a piece of flammable napkin here. Don't worry about that. And 2, I'm on foam. I don't know what this foam is treated with, but it is not flammable. Ask me how I know. Many months. And I've got a lot of sparks on it, and somehow it doesn't burn. take a look. That is how it should look. It doesn't have to be 100% clean unless you want perfect welds. This isn't structural, so I don't really care. Basically, we're gonna tack weld it into place. We're just gonna make it look nice. All right, so that's gonna be part number one. Part number two is I'm gonna try and get some of this off here so that I can actually get these welds in those places too. So I'm gonna tack it on in those spots too. So, last piece. So now what we're going to do is put this inside and then turn it. And we want to make sure that on both sides, when I turn it, we're not seeing any paint. Right? Now, that part's done. Mosquito. All right. So then we'll connect my welder. This is my little cheapo Harbor Freight welder. And I actually weld off of a battery that I have because I don't want to fuss with the voltage. Alright. Turn that on. Get our work surface prepared. Now I need a place to latch on for my grounding clip, so I'm going to clean off a little bit of area here just so I have something to get a good ground with. That basically completes the circuit. So that is okay. That's that. Okay. Alright. That's the whole setup. Now, because I'm running really thin wire, I'm going to reference the guide that I got here. Or rather, really thin metal. Reference my guide here. So, the lowest settings are 18 gauge metal. I'm going to say this is even less than 18 gauge. The gauge scale is upside down, so the lower the gauge, the thicker the metal. So this says 3.5 and B for the settings. Okay. So basically, this machine is really simple. It's only got two settings you adjust, which is temperature and wire feed speed. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to set it for that, and we'll see how it goes. And then we'll adjust from there. For the first bead, I'm always going to just basically tack it in place. And then check that I'm on weld mode. Settings look okay. Good to go. Alright. So we're going to do quick tack weld. One. Two. Three. Okay. Alright, those are my tack welds. I'm going to do one little one here. There we go. So what you saw there means I don't have enough temperature. So I need to increase my temperature a little bit because it's not burning hot enough to penetrate. So that's my wire adjustment, that's my voltage. So I'm gonna just bump it up half an adjustment and you'll see what a difference that makes. I am going to get a brush so that we can clean off the area that we've just welded, because those are just tack welds and this is flux core welding. So if you don't clean that off, you're gonna have a really nasty weld. All right, so oh, I actually burned through that one because I held it too long. You see that? So it's okay. We're gonna fill that in. So for this, I'm gonna just kind of go back and forth. Ooh, that is way too hot. That is way too hot. See that? Just burned a hole. So we actually gotta back that off quite a bit. And we gotta increase our wire feed speed. Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to try and fill in this material that I just burned off. See how that works. Okay. That'll clean what you can do here. Okay. Alright, that's really thin metal. It's not even taking it. But the good news is it's on there. Now I just need a little piece of metal to cover up that hole that I made. See if I have something really thin. I got nothing. So I'm gonna see if I can just grow the material on by just increasing the wire speed and turning down the temp even more. Okay. So we'll experiment over here where we got a little bit of material still. Okay, that's better. So my goal was just to kind of deposit a bunch of material, and then obviously the welders will critique the heck out of this video, but I'm not welding the skyscraper today. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Oh, good. Okay. That's depositing what I want. Cool. So, functionally, what have we done here? We have welded this completely. ugly, but that's not a problem because we're gonna grind this down in a second, and then it's gonna be beautiful. All right, so just take this. So now I'm going to turn down that wire speed just a tiny bit, and I'm going to fill in these holes that I got here. But before I do, just make sure I got everything nice and clean. Redo my clamp here. Okay. So this is too far to stick out. That's the amount of metal that you got there. Okay, that looks good. So you can see where I filled it in because it's glowing red. And I'm just going to take this, give it a quick brush to get rid of that flux. See what it looks like under the light. Looks very nice. Okay. Fill in that quick spot and then we'll be good to go. That's it. That's it. Now, I'm going to give it a quick touch up. Got one other area that I need to fill in just a tiny bit. So I'll do that now. That is it. Let's see what that's. More than good enough for this use case. Now, that is solid. pretty? It is not. Solid? It is. That's it.